It starts quietly. So quietly that no one notices at first. You're 7 years old, staring into the eyes of a parent who is falling apart. Maybe it's addiction. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's the hollow silence of someone too broken to show up. And without words, something ancient clicks in your small mind. If I don't hold everything together, no one will. That's the moment a child disappears. Not physically, but psychologically. They smile more. They cry less. They learn to read the room before they speak. They become the emotional thermostat of the household. They grow into small adults long before their minds are ready. And the world praises them for it. You're so mature. You're so responsible. You're so strong. But no one ever stops to ask. At what cost? This is the invisible grief of those who grew up too fast. And today, we're going deep into the psychology of that child. Because the effects don't vanish with age. They shape you. They follow you into relationships, careers, and your sense of worth. And if you don't understand what happened back then, you'll spend your adult life repeating survival patterns that once saved you, but are now slowly destroying you. Let's start with what's really happening developmentally. When children are forced to emotionally support adults instead of the other way around, psychologists call this parentification. It's when a child becomes the caregiver, the peacekeeper, the therapist, the protector. And this isn't just unhealthy. It rewires the brain. When a child is constantly responsible for emotional regulation, their own or someone else's, the nervous system adapts through something called hypervigilance. You're always scanning for danger. You walk on eggshells. You learn that love is conditional. If I give peace, maybe I'll get safety. You learn that your needs are dangerous. And everyone else's needs are urgent. So you disappear, not physically, but emotionally. And in your place grows a version of you that performs well. You become the good child. The quiet achiever. The therapist friend. The one who never asks for anything. You wear that identity so convincingly that even you forget it's a mask. But deep down, something still hurts. Because the inner child you buried didn't disappear. They're still there, silently asking, why didn't anyone protect me? As you grow older, the symptoms become more complex. You might become hyper-independent. You refuse help. You push people away. You never fully feel safe in love. You might feel numb during happy moments. Because joy feels unfamiliar, even dangerous. You might struggle to rest. Because productivity is the only way you ever felt worthy. And the hardest part, you might not even realize you're still in survival mode. Because when dysfunction is normalized early, your nervous system accepts chaos as baseline. Stillness feels wrong. Peace feels suspicious. Love feels like a debt you'll eventually have to repay. This isn't just sadness. It's complex trauma. And it reshapes how you see the world. And, more importantly, how you see yourself. So why would any child willingly take on that role? Because children will do anything for attachment. Even abandon themselves. The choice is never conscious. It's biological. In the absence of safety, the child sacrifices authenticity for belonging. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. That's survival. But here's the tragedy. What saved you then is what traps you now. So many of us are walking around as high-functioning adults, with deeply neglected inner children pulling the strings. We overachieve to earn love. We stay silent to avoid abandonment. We take care of everyone, while secretly wishing someone would just ask if we're okay. That quiet fantasy. That one day someone will notice you're not as strong as you pretend to be. That's not your adult self speaking. That's the child who never got to be a child. And healing doesn't start with fixing. It starts with witnessing. Because until you validate what happened, you'll keep minimizing it with thoughts like, it wasn't that bad. Others had it worse. I turned out fine. But fine is a mask too. And deep down, you know it. Children who grow up too fast become adults who never feel safe, even in calm rooms. Can't trust softness. Give endlessly but struggle to receive. Apologize for crying. Flinch at compliments. Confuse exhaustion with success. This is the cost of growing up too fast. And if your childhood trained you to be strong instead of soft, quiet instead of honest, responsible instead of protected, then adulthood becomes a life of holding your breath, waiting for permission to finally fall apart. But here's the truth. No one is coming to rescue the child you buried. You are the one who must go back and hold their hand. You are the one who must say what no one else did. You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You get to rest now. This is shadow work. Not fixing. Not performing. Not bypassing pain with fake positivity. But turning toward the abandoned parts of yourself and saying, I see you. I hear you. And I'm not leaving. It's brutal because it asks you to feel the grief you never had time to feel. To mourn the birthdays no one showed up for. The innocence you lost while protecting others. But that grief isn't weakness. It's proof that healing has begun. Because what was frozen is finally thawing. These survival patterns don't define you. They can be unlearned. But only when you stop idolizing your strength and start honoring your wounds. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who you had to be. So if you grew up too fast, remember this. Your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice. But now, you do. You can choose softness. You can choose rest. You can choose to stop managing everyone else's emotions. And finally honor your own. You weren't broken. You were surviving. And now, you're becoming whole.